Well, I was asked to speak at the Indy Summit on the lessons I learned as a FBI hostage negotiator and how those lessons in communication, resolving conflict, have applicability in the business world and in people's individual lives. I think a lot of people were interested to hear what would be the applicability to negotiations in a law enforcement context, which is quite different from their everyday lives. But I think they found that human beings are the same the world over in terms of their needs and wants and their frustrations and problems and the things that make them happy and more cooperative. And so sharing those skills learned, I hope the audience was able to extract from that some lessons that they can apply in dealing with clients to improve relationships, to avoid problems, or if problems arise, to mediate and eliminate them, and also with your family and your friends and your neighbors. Everything in life is about a relationship. So when a hostage negotiator is talking to a desperate individual who's inside a bank with hostages or threatened to kill his girlfriend or wife, before we're able to influence their behavior, to convince them to do something, we have to have a relationship with them. So we have to create one in a very tense situation. So I would suggest that if that is possible in those kinds of life and death situations, then certainly applying some of these skills in a more normal business activity focused on trying to create a relationship of trust, respect, is good for business and not only developing new business, but sustaining customers that you already have and being attentive to their needs and maintaining the business. I always like to say it's better to be a farmer than a hunter. So if you have a sustaining relationship with your client, then they're going to not only continue to give you the business that you have, but they'll probably steer additional business your way. And that is much more conducive for your bottom line than if you're constantly going out and looking for new customers. It's somewhat like a restaurant. Many restaurants have a sustaining business with regular customers that come in all the time because they like the service and they like the food. Other restaurants have a model where they're in a tourist area and they're always getting someone in new every day. But there's normally a blend. So you want to have a relationship with people that will sustain you, particularly in the winter months when the tourists are gone. But you also want that tourist business that is icing on the cake, as we say. I've for many years used humor in my presentations, which is part of my personality. But also, I think, on a deeper level, it's the element in my personality allowed me to handle very desperate and dangerous situations. I try not to take myself too seriously, and I realize that life, can be very tense and dangerous, but we also have to enjoy life and laugh at our own failings and shortcomings. But overall, what you want to convey to whoever you're dealing with is, I'm a good person. I want to help you in this situation, whether it's to do business or to keep them from harming themselves. And I'm worthy of your respect, and I'm giving you my respect. I'm genuine and I'm sincere. Those are skill sets that can be applied in any facet of life. This is a new kind of event for me, and I normally wouldn't spend several days with people in this particular business, in marketing and public relations and so forth. But I find it very interesting, and I've picked up some interesting little tidbits. And I sort of have a view that you can learn something from almost everyone if you stop and listen and try to appreciate what they do, put yourself in their frame of reference. As a speaker, you can often gauge the impact you're having on an audience, and it was a very conducive room for that. And I was able to sense that some of the information I was imparting was very well received, and it made people think about things maybe a little differently than they would otherwise. And it was a topic that was very different from the other presentations here. So hopefully it will be memorable for those who were in attendance.